Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nansha, how are you? Can you please post my own story? Here in our village, it is confessions all over. We get these messages on WhatsApp, and then we listen to the audios that are downloaded by other people that sent them to us. I then asked for your phone numbers. Then I said, let me speak with this man so that I can give him my own story, and then he can share my story to the world. I was born into a family of occultists. My father and his father before him, they were both traditional healers. So there was one of our ancestors who used to be a witch. And this ancestor of ours, we then stopped being a witch, and then he started using that spirit of witchcraft that used to possess him so that he can help other people that would come to him. He was now a traditional healer, but he was just a witch. So this spirit is the one that we are still using to this very day. So the spirit of witchcraft, it only survives on blood, nothing else. But as a family, we are able to negotiate with this spirit so that we can offer the blood that it requires so that it can stay in the family, and then we can continue with the business that we do of helping other people to become ritualists. And I have come here to warn other people out there never to even think about becoming a ritualist, because nothing good will ever come out of it. If you become a ritualist, then it means that you have opened your doors to other spirits that you will never be able to control. Take it from someone who survives by being a traditional healer, just like how my father and my grandfather taught me. But I know that this is not the way that you are supposed to live your life, by making money that you do not even know where it comes from. This is the only way that I know. My grandfather, he was a great man, and he was a great witch doctor. Even my own father, he used to teach me. My father taught me everything that I know about money-making rituals. But as a family, that is how we make our money. So I have what I call 4 stages of money rituals. If someone is going to become a ritualist, there are 4 stages that you need to pass through, those 4 levels, so that you can become a money-making ritualist. A lot of people out there, they are even using charms that we use when we are doing these rituals and creating these covenants. That is why you see that there is someone whose life does not even go anywhere, because you would have used some charms that would be given to you even at church. At church, they can even give you anointing oil. But what your prophet won't tell you is that usually these prophets, they come to people like us, then we sell to them this oil in which they sell to their church members and say that this anointing oil is going to chase away the bad luck. But what they won't tell you is that this oil, I got it from a traditional healer, and that traditional healer can even go and buy it maybe from Malawi or Mozambique. So these charms are used in money-making rituals. The oil, the lucky oil, is used in money-making rituals. And when you go with that bottle that contains the lucky oil, there is a way in which you are supposed to throw away that bottle. Most of the people, for an example, if you are a Zimbabwean, you say you want to go to South Africa, you do not have the necessary papers. Then you go to your prophet and you say, man of God, I want to go to South Africa, but I do not have the papers. Can you help me with a lucky charm so that along the way, the car or the bus in which I'll be traveling in is not going to be stopped by the police once we cross over into South Africa? Yes, it can happen. There are those type of charms. The prophet won't tell you the truth that this oil or these holy stones that I am giving to you, they were given to me by a traditional healer. You'll just take, let's say, that small bottle that will have the lucky oil, and then you use it along the way going to South Africa. You get there, then you get a job. once you have gotten a job in South Africa, you see that there is no use to keep that lucky charm anymore. You end up throwing it away, in which you will be breaking the covenant. What people do not understand is that there is a way that the spiritual world operates and the way that the physical world operates. What we understand is different from what those that are in the spirit world operate. If a charm was used in a covenant, wherever it will be taken to, then the rules of that covenant, they have to be followed, and heaven will always be a witness. That is why sometimes people wonder, why does God allow such bad things to happen? It is because everything here on earth, in heaven, in the spiritual realm, there is a covenant, and those rules, they are supposed to be followed even by the heavens themselves. So when you take that lucky charm, it means that without your knowledge, you have accepted that covenant which was made when that lucky charm oil was created, even though you do not even know. You have become part of that ritual, of that covenant. When you reach South Africa, then you throw it away. Once you throw it away, then it means that you have broken the oath, because these lucky charms, whether you buy it or you get it from somewhere, you need to return it back to the person who gave it to you, so that the person can be able to throw it away. For there is a way that these lucky charm bottles have to be buried, to be thrown away, not by you. So that is why you see most of the people that have used this lucky charms oil, they'll end up being confused in life. If they touch such a thing, then everything just go bad. They are just cursed people. They can't even progress in life. It is because they are part of a covenant, even though they have no idea that they are part of that covenant. So there are 4 stages. Why I say that there are 4 stages? Usually what I have seen in this world, and the people that have came to me, and I have written everything down. If a man comes to me, he would always complain that I have tried everything, but I have failed. When you become a businessman, know that in your business, any spirit that will be fighting with you will also fight and affect your business. And usually when you are a businessman, you end up dealing with other businessmen. Sometimes those businessmen that you'll be having business dealings with, they are also ritualists, and they are more spiritually strong than you are, which means that when you have a business deal and you are not someone who is spiritually strong, at the end of the day, you'll end up working for nothing until you go broke. So when someone has started their business, when they see that nothing is working, then that person will say, let me try something else, because I have prayed, I have gone to prophets, but it is not working. Usually that person will think about his ancestors and say, let me go and consult and let me hear, why is it my ancestors have forgotten about me? Why have my ancestors ignored me? Usually that person will go to a traditional healer, because there are different traditional healers. There are those that do not use blood in whatever that they do. Their duty is for you to consult with your ancestors, and end of story. Those are not involved in money-making rituals. Then there are those that are like me. You come to me and immediately I skip the first stage, for I know that normally the first stage, it is a waste of time. Why am I saying it is a waste of time? In this first level, usually what happens is that you go to a traditional healer, and then that traditional healer tells you that in order for your life to be okay in level 1, you have to ask the ancestors, to speak with your ancestors, so that they can fix whatever that will be going wrong in your business. And when you speak with your ancestors, maybe life can be better, but things won't change. The reason as to why things won't totally change, in Shona we have a saying which says, midzimu yakupa chironda unzi nunzi dzinge dzichikudya, meaning that the ancestors have given you a wound so that the flies can come and eat your flesh. The ancestors, they do this so that you can see that there is something that is wrong in my life. When everything is going according to plan, you are not going to think about your ancestors. Rather, they will make sure that you keep on facing so many difficulties in your life. When they make you to have bad luck and to face so many challenges in your life, it is not because they want you to go and consult alone. They want you to be united with your family, and then you go together as a family. Because when you go alone to consult, trying to sort out your life in the spiritual realm, like I told you, things, the way that they operate, it is different from this world that we are living in right now. They will just say, you are trying to sweep all the dirt that is in your room and then sweeping it into the room where your next relative is staying. So they won't accept that. They want everyone to sweep all the dirt that will be in their homes all at the same time. So they do not understand that as human beings who are alive right now in the family, they can be people that will be fighting against each other, such that they will refuse to go together to consult, so that there can be a spiritual cleansing that can happen in the family. So usually when someone is gone to consult, to speak with the ancestors, then they see that their life is not changing. They'll end up giving up, or rather they'll come to someone that is like me. Usually that is the second level of becoming a money-making rituals. When you say, I am done with the ancestors, they are not changing my situation, life is becoming even more hard, then you meet a witch doctor that is like me. So in this stage, what we take you through is like you are buying money using the life of your loved one. The client must give up something that is precious. It's either years of their life, their own fertility, a womb, or a loved one's health. So the wealth will come, but so does the suffering. When you suffer, knowing that you are making all of this money simply because you had to lose the person that you loved the most, that is the second stage of becoming a money-making ritualist. There was one guy who once came to me. He was a businessman. He came a few months ago. He came to me and he said, "Old man, can you please help me? I have tried everything in business, but nothing is working out." Even when he came, he wanted to speak with the ancestors so that he can see what is wrong with him, what is taking place. And then I said, let us not waste time with the ancestors. Let us go straight to the rituals. I'm just going to assist you. As we are speaking right now, this man, his life is better. He is rich, but the wife is so sick. You know what happened to his child? His child went on a school trip and the child fell and broke his spinal cord. As I am speaking with you, the child now is using a wheelchair. So that is what I mean by buying money but using the life of your loved one. It is quite a painful life, knowing that this is what made you to become rich when you lost someone, or now this man, his child has a disability. Then the other level, which I call level number 3, is binding a spirit of the dead, a person that died maybe a long time ago and you do not even know that person. Then you use the spirit of that person to bring you wealth. So what happens in Shona, we have what we call Shavi. Shavi is a spirit. This is a spirit. Other people think that they are demons, but in our culture, those are the spirits. Each and everyone who is alive today, when you die, you return back to your people, you return back to your tribe, and then you stay there in the spiritual realm where you find rest. But if it happens that for any kind of a reason you can't return back to your ancestors, to your tribe, it means that you are caught up in a place that is between the spiritual world and between the physical world. You can't go to the spiritual world and you can't return back to the land of the living. So usually these spirits of the dead, it's either the person who would have died and then the relatives of that person do not end up going back to the grave of that person to place a tombstone, to do the traditions that we are supposed to do, the rituals that we are supposed to perform as African people. So that person's spirit will keep on wandering about in the forest, in the bushes, in the mountains, finding a place to rest. It can be the spirit of a person that died. Maybe someone who would have gone into the forest and is attacked by the wild animals. That person will just die in that forest, and then no one will ever find them. So what we do as witch doctors, we do go into those forests. There are some forests in our country where no one has ever set foot in, those type of forests that are really deep and far away from everyone. Those forests where they are forbidden forests, we go there and we speak with the spirits, the wandering spirits, because when you die and when people do not do a traditional ceremony for you, it means that you will be staying in the trees. That is where you stay, and it is a painful existence. We go there and then we do some rituals, and that is when a covenant is created. We speak with the spirit that will be in the tree. Come down, oh dear friend, come with me, for I have someone that is in need of your service. Return back to the land of the living. This person is going to offer you accommodation in his bloodline so that you can return back to the land of the living. All that you have to do is to work for this person, bring great wealth to him, and he's going to repay you. Or we can go into the caves and we speak with the spirits of the dead, those that were forgotten, that are caught between two worlds. They will agree because they do not want to remain in that land which is between the land of the living and the land of the dead. So we return back with them, and we can keep them at our shrines until the time comes when someone will come to my shrine and say, old man, I want to be rich. I am tired of this poverty. I remember that there was this other man. He used to be a manager at this other mine. He was from Bindura, that man. He became wealthy overnight. He came to me and he said, old man, I want you to assist me. You know, what he used to do is that when he was the manager at that mine, they would steal some golds from the white people and sell them to the black market. But then when he got his own mining claim, he had already bought houses as well as cars. And then he started sponsoring illegal gold miners using that money. And he was owing some other people as well. And then that was when this man, he then came to me and he said, I really do not even know what am I supposed to do, because I am owing a lot of people. This man, I assisted him because of that. But this man, he started to get crazy, because when you do this ritual, binding yourself to the spirit of a person that you never knew, who was not even your relative, it means that at the end of the day, that spirit will do whatever that it wants. There are a lot of people that believe that a traditional healer will give you some rules that are very difficult for you to be able to follow those rules. It is not always like that. You see, if you go into the forest, or maybe then you find a wandering spirit inside of a cave, that spirit will just agree so that it can be brought back into the land of the living. But when that covenant expires, when the contract expires, that spirit is also a clever being, because it used to be a living human being. So it knows that now that my contract is expired, I am supposed to leave this bloodline, this family alone. So what it does is that it makes sure that the person that would have brought that spirit into their own bloodline will make a mistake such that the spirit will be able to lay a claim to the whole bloodline, knowing that even God himself, he cannot intervene, for it is a covenant. A covenant is a covenant. There are times when a traditional healer will give you things that are going to give you problems already, but normally these spirits, once they enter into the family, they do not want to leave that family, for they know that they will return back to that land where they can't exist anymore. So, Brother Nashi, that is what happens when you do these money-making rituals. Then there are those people that can sacrifice a person, a human being, physically, killing someone so that you can make money. Usually these are your politicians because they want power. And when you want power, blood is needed. There are people that sacrifice a lot of human beings so that they can be able to get so much power as politicians. I still remember when my father was still alive, there was one politician that came almost in the middle of the night to our village. We saw by the convoy of cars that he was a politician. He came with dead bodies, and my father assisted with the removal of the body parts that were later used. This man, after that, that was when we heard that his son died under mysterious circumstances after he had been assisted by my father to get whatever that he wanted. So I do not want people to do these money-making rituals. They are not supposed to do these money-making rituals at all. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section.